Thank you everyone on call to joining. I know that you're probably excited to have Christmas next week, right? Or probably you already have on vacation. So I'm very glad to have you here for this season. I will love to talk to all of you about active rest, right? So this is the most important thing. I am probably that's probably like the how do you say, like the most task that blocks me because I really suck at resting. But I always have the block, to actually have that. So active resting, Paulino. I know that you're on call. Maybe not. All right. So Maria Jose, maybe Maria Jose, for everyone on call that doesn't know, she actually practiced jujitsu. So what do you know about active resting? What is the importance of resting?
I mean, I think that we all need to rest from anything, work, and things that are not related to work also. But I think active resting, it's maybe like taking advantage of the time you are resting to do something that like gives you more energy to continue working on everything. So yeah, that's what I think it is.
Amazing, amazing. So that's basically true, right? But why it's active resting important is the reason behind it, right? Because yeah, sometimes we sleep, sometimes we don't. Sometimes it's just like random, when you rest. But when you are reactively resting, that it's like, have you slept like 12 hours and you just wake up and still feel tired? Anyone aligned with that? Yeah. So basically that happens because you're not, well, because the body needs to actually cool down, like something happened so traumatic that it actually needs to happen. But then, um what is going on is that we have the pre-control for cortex, right? So we have this part of the brain here, basically, right? That is the one that it has the conscious, that is the one that makes decision, that is the one that actually, you know moves the body and makes decision for you. What happened is that during the day, this, if you want to think about it, this is a battery. And this battery goes low, 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 and then we need to sleep. When you don't get enough rest, when you don't get enough time, to recover, then not only your muscles are gonna be thinner, right? You're not gonna have a lot of muscle recovery if you're going to the gym. You're gonna be a lot of fatigue, but actually you'll be less aware and less focused when making decisions, right? Does that make sense to everyone, right? Okay. So when that happens, is basically that we are not like Samuel shared a post recently that I really like, that it was like the system should be like for your own, because you went to the exercise for the systems and you created your own. Do you want to share us a little bit of how you did it and your mindset behind the systems?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I've been trying to fix my life in systems for almost 8 years. Just starting before having a remote job, I had to consider moving between the city, inside the city, and so on, and etc. And I was just playing around with what tools really work for me. One of the systems they propose is like making a slots on the calendar and specifying your day activity by activity. I've seen people that got successful really well in that framework. But I noticed that also for me it was overwhelming. It was like always having to have this sense of fury or sense of failure if you were taking another part of the slot time reserved for certain activity. so there's always chaotic things happening when you move inside the cities like Mexico City. So it's almost impossible to say, "Hey, I'm gonna do 1 hour from my home to my job." So sometimes
Yes.
it was like, "Yeah, I've done 1 hour and a half because the traffic was chaotic and so on, and now I have 30 minutes less to study or 30 minutes less to do things like that." So I just decided to make it a little bit flexible around it and like work on two pillars. The first one is things that I must do today, and then the
Mhm.
flexibility of the 12 hours that I have. So as the day is going on, if I have some time, I do the most crucial things to do, or also the more demanding things. As Daniel was mentioning, um, I was just thinking about how many decisions we take in the day, and also why it's important resting, because every decision you have on the day, it's like creating that fatigue in your mind. Actually, we can handle just a certain number of decisions day by day. That's what make us human and not machines, unfortunately.
Basically.
So since we have just a fixed number of decisions that we can do through the day. And we do decisions since what I'm gonna wear, what I'm gonna eat, what I'm gonna do before going work, and so that's a lot of decisions that are creating fatigue to our mind. So I
Yeah.
was making systems to raise part of the decisions. I'm not sure
Mhm.
if you have read about it, but the reason Mark Zuckerberg always wore the same clothes or the same yeah, color of clothes and so on, it's because he avoid to do some decisions, trivial decisions that it's overwhelming on day by day. So I took some of those advices and so on, and I complemented with the two pillars to figure out what was important, give flexibility, and also give recognition of what I'm doing. I think recognition is super important because after a really busy day, you want to feel that you made something impactful or something that really makes you go into the direction you want to go.
Basically, that's amazing, my friend, and I love it. I love it, and that's right. Basically, and that's the main reason why, the decisions that we make, the active resting, everything that we do, it has to become, or at least from the routine that I know as weekly intention, right? So, for in this case, just to share with you a little bit of my system, right? I have the way that we make decisions over here is just like the every time, like Samuel said, right? Every time that we clicked, or we have to check, or we have to eat, or we have to put clothes, those are micro decisions that are lowering our battery, right? So when we have habits, right? So for example, what we eat, we're not actually thinking what we're gonna eat. If we have a habit of eating eggs, for example, in the morning, that's saving energy. Like the brain, the only function mechanism of the brain is saving energy. That's why people avoid discomfort. That's why people stay in the same place, and that's why people live the same life for more than 30 years, because the brain is saving energy. So in this case, right, what I do is that you all guys know what is the icy notes routine, where we put all of the ideas that we have. I just want to share with you guys that this I read recently. How much longer are you going to avoid of doing what you are capable of doing in order to continue what you are comfortable doing? I really love this. Again, how much longer are you going to avoid of doing what you are capable of doing in order to continue what you are comfortable doing? Right? I'm gonna share this on the chat. Actually, I really like this. So you all guys know what is the icy notes, right? Here I put the um all the notes that I have in my head. Then I try to, during the week, I just collect ideas, I collect tasks, I collect everything. And on Mondays, at the end of the next week, I have this, right? That is the my performance dashboard. That is basically what am I currently doing, what did I did last week. This is the this week intention, right? So this allows me that I know that I selected a couple of tasks that are gonna allow me to move forward, meaning are going to allow me to make progress. This can be, in this case, there are just 11 tasks, but I have more. right? I have more tasks to do. Like Samuel said, we have a lot of things, and we cannot be like, oh, I'm gonna do this in this hour. We're not gonna do like, we cannot be that square. We're not robots, sadly, not yet. I will be the first one, I promise you guys. And then what the reason of this goal, right? The non-negotiables, right? So these are non not performance tasks per se, right? So it's not about getting more income. It's not about actually doing something task related or mission related to this, but it actually helps us to basically knowing what we are now negotiating. In Paulino's case, is going to CrossFit, right? In Maria Jose's case, is going to Jiu-Jitsu. In Samuel's case, it can be like cooking or just like something that actually nurture him and makes him rest, but actively. So we select this task or this spot specifically in a whole new environment that is not where we work. It is not where we live necessarily, but actually helps us to be more not only confident but have more energy, not necessarily only sleeping. Does that make sense to everyone here? Yep. Amazing. Yay, let's go. All right. So basically, what I want you to guys to think and to share actually is that what are your non-negotiables, right? So is it gonna be like going to the gym, meditate, morning walks, surfing? What is your non-negotiables, right? Think about it. If you can write it down somewhere, I highly recommend you guys to do that. So what are my non-negotiables? I do this with you guys. Cool. All right. So when you go like this and you actually think about what are you negotiating or not that is gonna nurture you, it's basically saying what am I not willing to make exceptions about it, right? What is something that I have to do or else I'm gonna kill someone at this point. So in my case, right now, since I am living life and whatever, because I got just to share a little of a personal note here. Since I've been working like for the last 4 months from like 3 a.m. to 11 p.m., something like that, Carlos and I were like, "Hey, you need to go. You need to make some time so you can just take a little bit of sun. You're ready to pale. You look like a dead person. So get some rest, right?" And I still wake up at 3 a.m. So I don't know what is gonna happen, man. So that's one thing, right? So in my case, my non-negotiables are at this point like morning walks, surfing, and let's put sunsets, right? If you have it like this, and this is very important because now you're saying, okay, these are my non-negotiables, right? Samuel can have, like I said, cooking. Like Samuel, what is one of your non-negotiables?
I think it's evening walkings. I like to walk on evening basically, and one another. But yeah, I really love to have fun with friends. So usually I reserve like 4 to 6 hours per week to hang out and just go with another people. Since I work remotely, the contact with people it's limited sometimes. So
I understand that, my friend, right? So that's very important. So the non-negotiables actually nurtures you. That walking, like is moving the body, is actually making exercise. You can actually refresh your eyes because you can develop actually eye sore or dry eye syndrome. A lot of things just from being in front of the computer. So that allows you actually to perform better, right? So non-negotiables of a high performer is basically something that aligns him to rest while improving herself. Why? Because I have known people that they're like, oh, my non negotiable is like going to party. Mm, yeah, of course. How old are you? I am 30, and they already have gray hair and shit. And I'm like, damn. Even Paulino looks, even Paulino looks younger than him, you know? And at this point, you're like, okay, what is a non negotiable? Is if it's something fun that is actually allowing me to nurture, what does that mean? Right? So it is
I
not.
cannot talk. Sorry, but I'm hearing everything. Okay.
I'm aware, my friend. That's why I'm saying it. I was just making sure that you were paying attention. Let's go. So, no negotiables. Man, at this point, you're like, I guess that Samuel is just like, hey, I cannot go in on a walk every day, for 1 hour. Sometimes life happens. Sometimes I stuck in the job. So now you need to decide, right? Like, hey, okay, if these are my non-negotiables, when am I willing to make them, right? So you can not to put them on a date necessarily, unless you're really, really, really a robot, but just put it a tangible number, right? So you know that you actually make progress. This is just, guys, this is very important just for you to understand where are you doing with your life, because sometimes we feel like, hey, maybe I could have done this differently, or maybe I could have done this XYZ. And with the no negotiables, sometimes we're like, hey, I couldn't have time with myself, right? So you then you start being proactive, reactive, sorry. So you're like, oh, I feel like I couldn't have enough time for myself, so I am sacrificing this creative block on Mondays so I can rest more. But it's like you're sacrificing something that you already promised to yourself, instead of, hey, maybe I can do the morning walks 4 times per week, right? So let's say that I do this 4 times per week. I don't care what days. It can be Mondays, it could be Saturdays, it could be Sundays, like, but I know that this week I'm going to at least walk 4 times per week. I'm gonna surf 3 times, and the sunsets. Then for me, it's just like watching, look in the mirror, so I can actually delete this, right? But this, at least, I have seven non-negotiables that I have to do per week, and this is just a compound effect, right? With these guys, I just want to make evident that everything makes more of itself. All right. So active rest is going to allow you to rest better, have a better recovery, increase your health. Is going to help you to be more focused, to not look like me and all tired and scared, and waking up at 3 a.m. because you're like, yeah, business is failing or whatever. Uh, so at this point, guys, it's just like, hey, what am I feeding, right? Where I'm putting that 1% better every day. Is it gonna be active rest? Is it gonna be deep work, like Samuel said, right? And Samuel, just to let you know, right? Not a lot of people know a lot about systems, right? And it's very tough. Actually, breaking a habit or building a habit is very, very tough. You better know that. So at this point, we just want to make sure that we are just making 1% better every day. So if it's gonna be like a proactive block, a creative block, protected with all of your soul, like at 1 hour or one, just like 30 minutes, that you know that you're gonna be full focused on a corner, dark, just like you or your computer and your will, creating something that is gonna help you build your life. In this case, can be the profile optimization, it can be sending proposals, it can be like reading something very important. But just protect that 30 minutes during the week, and it doesn't have to be daily. Ideally it is going to be, right? But make, like Samuel said, find a way that the system works for you and not you for the system. Make sense? Yeah. So that's why I love ClickUp at this point, because I know that I can just like measure, do, undo things, and my system is just like, basically my system allows me to change, filter, and how do you say, have visibility on the things that I'm doing, right? So um for this, because right now, guys, for me this is something that actually has been like the whole year, something that I've learned the importance of active rest. So I just want to share this with you guys. We have like 40 minutes, 30 minutes more on the call. I would love to talk about weekly intention or how to plan your week, if you guys are open to, or if you guys have any question specifically about performance or making progress, you can ask them. So I open the mic for all of you.
So I think one of the hardest parts for me when trying to keep up on building habits is when we fail a day. You know, it's like if you are a perfectionist or if you have this situation where you are being really hard with yourself and you start failing and you say like, I was doing well for the last 2 weeks, but yesterday and today I couldn't achieve what I wanted. I couldn't keep the habit. That part I think is the most crucial. It's even more important than just starting the habit. It's like how do you keep yourself in track even when you are failing, because as we have mentioned, since we are not machines, we cannot keep on 100% full year basically. So failure
Yeah.
is inevitable and things are gonna make you fall, and those things are sometimes outside your control, right? So there are some strategies to try to ignore the failure and keep track again and other things. But I'm not sure, Daniel, in your case, how do you manage that? How do you deal with the failure of previous habits, and how to renovate your efforts and continuing building the habit?
Yeah, that's amazing. Amazing question, my friend. So with that, first of all, just like you said, making peace with failure, because failure is not bad. You know, if you didn't do something, it's just data. So instead of just watching things are good or bad, I just watching like data. What does this mean? In my case, right? I love this question, man. In my case, I just see, for example, like this, and this happens to me all. Jesus, wasn't that for me? This happens all week, right? That I go like this, and I have like all of these ideas, right? So I have all of my tasks here. For example, I have this over here, the personal, for me, all the personal tasks, that I really want to read something or know something or just investigate a little bit more, is something very tough, because now I notice that I am like my least priority, and this is unfair for me, right? So this task, it has been overdue for the last 3 weeks, and at this point I just put it like, the thing that happens is that it go like this, right? So it not only shows me that it is like overdue, right? And it's on red, and you're like, hey, you're failing, you didn't do this, you're a piece of shit. Yeah, right. A lot of people can think about it. And for me, it was actually just watching and be like, hey, this is data. Why, if this is important for me, right? Because it's an intention, why am I not doing this? Right? But I'm completing actually very good the things of my job. So to be consistent with this, I am not letting this go. So yeah, I've been carrying these two tasks for the last 3 weeks, let's say, but I just keep going and keep going and keep going until they are finished. So instead, I think my superpower, while my blessing has been, just being uh insanely, how do you say, increíblemente necio. Just like I cannot see that I didn't do something, and I rather do it later than do it than don't do it at all, right? So it's just like grabbing a stick, and I know that I have to throw it, but I just want to throw it as far as I can, but I just couldn't, and I rather hold the stick, and it is spikes and everything on my hand. It's like I'm holding this until I throw it. But it's up to me to throw the stick. It's up to me to complete the tasks. So first, emotion aside, right? So this is the routine that I have. when I see this. That is, first, leave the motion outside the door. Second, see the data, see the tasks that you didn't complete it. Third, if emotion entered the door, feedback, why am I feeling bad about this? What does that mean? What does it say? And fourth, how do I keep myself accountable, right? So the question for Samuel was, how do I keep myself accountable? How can I keep making progress? And it meant it's just like understand the reason behind why you're not doing the things. In a lot of cases, is that you actually don't care. You know, if you actually cared, you wouldn't have already done it. In my case, it's like, hey, you don't care about yourself. Ha 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 ha. Feel bad. Ha ha ha. No, no, no. There's data. Oh yeah, I have childhood trauma and whatever, and that's the reason why I don't love myself enough to complete the tasks that I want. Oh, but I'm not gonna feel bad about it. I'm just gonna see it as it is. Data. Oh shit, I need to work on this. See, does that answer your question? Yeah. Perfect. All right. It got a little bit dark for a second there. All right. Anyone has any other question, my friends? Nope. All right. So because it's Christmas, I'm letting you guys go. We're ending this session earlier. Starting next year, we're gonna have specific group calls. So you're gonna see a change. Just to letting you guys know. Maria Jose, I see you tomorrow. Ever, see you tomorrow. Samuel and Miguel and Paulino, I'll see you in school. So letting me know if you need anything. I know that I still have to answer a couple of your school posts. I'm gonna go ahead and just do that, Samuel. So yeah, community is open, school is open. Keep me posted. Have an amazing rest of your week. All right.
Right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
See you there.
More than welcome. Same
Bye,
here.
guys.
Bye. You're gonna say something, Samuel?
Just quick question. I saw on the calendar there are meetings for next week and the last week of the year, but are we having those or those are canceled given the Christmas and the
Huh.
New Year?
That's actually a very good question, my friend. We can put it on as a poll, just to vote if we're gonna have it or not, right?
Okay.
That's a very good question. All right, Maji. Have a great rest of your day. All right.
You too,
Have a
man.
great one. Let's go. Yeah, buddy.